another episode of Well Extend. Today we actually have another unboxing since there's not much we can do at the moment. We're actually reviewing a new weapon we got from Calimacil for our LARP.
And man, it's a cool one.
This one, it is licensed, but I have been told by Calimacil themselves, you do not have to worry. There have been a few people out there a bit iffy about this. You don't have to worry about licensing. You will not get done for copyright or any intellectual, intellectual property stuff.
Yeah.
So you're all good to have this on film if you guys ever want to pick one of these up and do a review yourself. So we have here the Witcher 3 Steel Sword.
Oh yeah. As a big fan of The Witcher myself, haven't read all the books, I've read some of them and I've played the 3 games. Like, when Trent told me he got one of these, I was so excited.
So, before we talk about this, we'll do a bit of a close-up, nice little cinematic shot of it.
Is it going to have soft sword music?
It will. Let's roll it. Alright, now that you guys have seen that, this thing does come with a warranty card. So pretty much, here. You open it up, and this is actually from their refurbished line, which comes from anything from it doesn't have enough paint, or there's a couple of scratches on it, something that stops them from sending you the peak products that they send you.
That being said, this thing is it's in perfect nick.
Even though it is from their refurbished line, they do make sure that it is still safe to use.
Yeah.
They won't sell you a refurbished dodgy thing that you can't use.
I mean, the thing is beautiful. Like,
pretty much this is your warranty card. You will still have 1 year warranty on it, not if anything, like if the paint chips or whatever, but if there is an actual defect in it, like the core breaks or something happens to it, you will still be covered. On the inside it does have all the details and the little blurb that they put in there for the specific sword.
And on with the Calimacil warranty, they are really good about it. The first Calimacil I bought had a little bit of issues with the tip, and they just sent me out another one. It was really good. Their team's real good to talk to. So
yep. So there's a warranty. Now let's talk a little bit about the sword itself. This thing is actually amazing. It does have on the blade, as you would have seen in the close-up, the Calimacil brand stamp on the actual blade, along with one of the other companies that they have on here. I can't remember which one it is.
I believe the R may be referring to CD Projekt Red, possibly.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which as anyone who's a fan of The Witcher would know, are the guys who make the games.
Yep. On the other side, you do have the Witcher 3 symbol, the 3 scratches. Moving up from there, it does have a double fuller down the middle of it. That thing is beautiful, and it sticks out very well without getting too close to the actual core.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's just a nice design feature, really.
Yeah. My favourite part though is the crossguard and the actual handle. They've done a bit of chainmail looking handle art.
They've done a textured wire wrap, which is not something you see too often on a LARP sword, so that's a very, very nice touch.
On other swords you'll see it smooth. which if you're battling and you're sweaty and stuff, it'll tend to slip a little. This, I've actually swung around for a little bit, and no matter how sweaty I got, I even wet my hands on purpose to see if it would slip, and with the actual wire on it, it stays firm. The crossguard itself is actually a lot similar, like the amount of detail that's in it from the paint to the actual twists of the metal. It also has a lot of stability in it, so it's not as floppy as some, but also as you go further from the edge and more in towards the blade, when you go to stop a sword, it won't bend, it'll actually catch it.
Yeah, which is very different to most LARP swords. So for those who are, reenactors like myself, or people who are HEMA practitioners who, like to catch things with the crossguards when they're playing around with real swords, if you angle it just right with this, you can actually do that, which will surprise whoever you're fighting with a fair bit.
Yep. The pommel it's not a cheap soft rubber. It is, I do admit it is a really hard rubber on the handle and on the pommel. So no, you can't pommel bash people, which I don't know many LARPs that actually allow that.
No, I
You
don't
can't
think
just-
I've been to a LARP that allows you to pommel strike people.
But still, it's got a lot of detail and a lot of stability in it. In general, it is flexible but stable. The actual foam itself is it's soft compared to some out there. Some that can't be used at LARPs, like Wicked Replicas or stuff like that. It's not as soft as some, like the new line of Epicamary swords. A bit of caution, because a lot of LARPs out there will bring this up. They are a little bit hard fresh out of the box. All it takes is a little bit of wear and tear. I've got Cali swords that have been used for about 2-3 years, and they are really soft now. So beat this against a metal chest plate, a padded board or whatever. Just use it a little and it will soften up.
One thing to mention though is because the shape of the blade, it does hit a little bit harder. So if you compare it to like the Bellator that you'll see me use in most of our videos, the edge of it is quite thick.
It's more
where
rounded.
this obviously has a tapered edge.
And for those of you that don't know what that is, it means instead of the edge being rounded, it goes like a diamond point.
Yeah, so it looks really, really cool because it's starting to look a bit more like an actual sword as opposed to most other LARP weapons. The downside to that is you've obviously got more force in a smaller area, so it will hurt more.
It will sting, but to those experienced LARPers out there, you know how hard to hit. You know that this thing will sting a little bit more than others, so you know how to pull your hits. You know that these will need to be pulled a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the big thing to remember. With the change in shape of the blade, you will have to account for that. So you will have to pull your hits a little bit more than you would traditionally with like a Bellator or something from Cali. But I mean, as far as like actually the handling of it, it's the closest to an actual sword I've ever seen for a LARP weapon.
Yeah.
Like the handling, yeah, it's akin to an actual sword when you use it.
It's even got a little bit more weight than the others. I have talked to quite a few of our local LARPs about these. Quite a few of them, nearly all of them have said, yeah, sure, bring it along, take it, we'll give it a whirl. I know quite a few that actually own their LARPs and they said, hell yeah, we're going to buy one ourselves. There are a couple that have said, look, the foam is too hard. You can try and soften it, bring it to an event and we'll either pass it or not. Which is why I'm going to be trying to soften this as hard as I can before LARP season starts up again.
Yeah, yeah. The big thing to remember with any LARP sword, because I have no doubt they're going to make more in this style, because they just look really cool. But you've got to pull your hits a bit more. So if you're an experienced LARPer, then I honestly can't see an issue with it, because if you've got some you're not trying to brain the other person.
We've been doing this for about 5-6 years.
Yeah, something
So
like that.
we've got enough experience that we know, okay, this thing has a tapered edge, it's going to sting a bit more, so we know to pull our hits a bit more compared to the ones with the thick edges or the very soft foam.
Yeah, that's it. But the plus side though is I believe the sword will be very, very sturdy. So it should last you years. And Cali swords do. Like I've owned my Bellator I think for 4 years now.
And only now the foam
Yeah,
is
it's
starting to degrade.
Yeah, it's gone all across the country with me doing stupid stuff. So
oh yeah, and I've been there for most of it.
yeah, so when you look at that, they're definitely worth the money.
Yep. Alright, next we actually do have a special email from calimacil themselves giving us a bit of information about this sword.
Right.
Alright, so here's the official email we got from calimacil. We did ask them some questions about how their blades were constructed, how they make the swords, and even the details and all that. So Isaac's actually going to read an official email from them.
Yeah. So, it starts with, "Hi Trent." So how you going, Trent?
So,
Our weapons are made by injecting foam into molds to make the blades, axe, hammer, lance heads, handles and poles. The pieces are then inspected, painted and assembled. There's a little more information about it in the FAQ, which they've thankfully also added to the email, so we don't have to search for it. That was awfully nice.
yep.
Calimacil foam, often misnamed injected foam, is an industrial strength polystyrene foam with a delayed reaction for injection use. Calimacil foam offers many advantages compared to latex, which is often used in the production of foam weapons. These are a few of the characteristics that differentiate calimacil foam weapons from latex weapons. Spectacular realism, which is 100% correct looking at
You
this
can
thing.
see that for yourself.
It looks like a sword, and it feels like a sword, really. Which is very, very cool.
Not the blade.
Not the blade, obviously, but like in the hand,
Handle-wise,
it feels like, yeah, it feels like a sword in the hand, which a lot of LARP weapons often don't.
handle-wise,
it
it
does feel like
feels
you're
like a
swinging
sword.
a paddle.
Yeah. Handle-wise, it feels like a sword. Weight-wise, it feels like a sword. Blade-wise, not so much.
Durability in extreme combat conditions, which obviously that's really the reason people buy Calis, other than that they look good, is they are super durable.
Majority of our weapons are actually Calis. It's the company that we go with the most.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of the Epic Armory hybrids, but those were pretty much all my weapons had a bit of wear and tear, and I was retiring those and had to upgrade. So yeah, that's when after using that I upgraded to this.
Yeah, so durability, they are definitely durable. Again, I've had my Bellator for like 4 years and used it at every LARP I've ever been to. So yeah, they're definitely durable. They're weather resistant, so you don't have to keep respraying them with latex or anything.
They won't get fragile like the latex. Since it doesn't have latex, I have had this problem with latex swords before, where if they're in too cold of an environment, they will kind of harden up and the latex will crack a little, so you have to spray it down.
Yep. And the last part, they're also very safe, which you would hope so from the last one.
Yeah.
They are. And Trent had also asked ways to break them in. And they don't have a specific method other than to spar with them. So
Exactly as I said.
that's the best way to do it.
So yeah.
We'd like to thank Patricia for getting back to us from calimacil and letting us know all the information so we could share it with you.
And I'd love to thank Patrick, the owner of calimacil, for getting this to us as soon as possible for the review. Thanks again, guys. This thing is actually absolutely beautiful and amazing to spar with. Isaac's gotten a bit jealous when he's swung it around going, he wants one now.
yeah. As someone who's both a LARPer and a reenactor and stuff I've got a little bit of experience with swords. It's the most like a sword, like when you're actually using it, so I want one. Flat, hands down, I want one, and I'm probably going to get one because it's just the coolest LARP sword I've ever used.
So yeah, that was our review on the calimacil Witcher 3 steel sword. They do also have a couple other Witcher weapons, I believe Geralt's dagger, as well as his silver sword.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume the silver sword is of the same
same
quality,
stuff.
same style, so obviously it'll look a bit different because it's the silver sword.
From what I've seen from photos, different grip, all that stuff, and the crossguards go up in a V section.
Yeah, so, but if you'd prefer a silver sword over the steel sword, then if it's anything like this one, I can heartily recommend it. Like, it's very, very cool.
Exactly. But yeah, so...
Yeah, good enough, I think, for the White Wolf to use.
Indeed, indeed. So, that's all for today, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, by the way, I forgot to add into the video that we will be chucking all the links in the description down below for all calimacil stuff that we talked about today.
Yeah, so you better go and buy a Witcher steel sword. Like, just go and do it right now.
Also, don't forget to check out their website for all the weapons and armor that they have on there. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. They have amazing stuff. So yeah, until next time, take it easy.
See you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified for new videos. Doing those 3 things really helps the channel grow.
And don't forget to follow us on our other social medias, which are Instagram and Facebook. The links to those will be down in the description below. And until next time, don't forget to live it.
Have a good one.